Okay, so we're still at day one on my prison trip. Okay, so starting to meet my cellies. I'm not going to use their names. I'm going to use the first letter of their names just for everybody's. I don't know how they feel about me putting their stuff out there, but so I'm just going to use the first letter of their name. So there was A, other A, Mexican A, and S. Okay, those were my first three cellies. A and S. I don't know, close to AS now, but anyways, so I met them. They're feeling me out. You know, what am I like? What's my case? You know, we're not about the violence in this cell, but you know, you're not a sex offender or anything, right? Being a sex offender is a big deal in prison, and also it depends on what kind of sex offender you are. Lansing had a sex offender education or a program that sex offenders had to do, so there was a lot of sex offenders at Lansing. There was different variances of sex offender. You'd get things from like pimping out young girls, to molesting young kids, to you had the Romeo and Juliet situation or you had a 22-year-old getting picked from a 16 or 17-year-old, and technically it was illegal. And then you'd also have the cases where, I don't know if it was true or not, but this gay dude said that a 15-year-old was going around and getting a whole bunch of gay dudes caught up with a minor, with sex act with a minor case by saying that he was older but really being 15. So there's a lot of variances in that sex offender thing, and I'll dibble and dabble on that just because it's an interesting topic, but it's so weird how it works in prison compared to what you would expect and what is portrayed on movies and TV. So first day, they're filling me out. S is talking about how he's just feeling kind of, you know, paranoid and stuff, and so he shows me his banger, his shank, and it's a nice one. It's nice. It's hard plastic. It's chiseled down to a point. He's got a ring on it, so it can slip onto his finger, and then he's got attachments or like a washcloth type deal, so he can wrap it around his wrist. And it was a sturdy thing. Like, it was a poker. It could do some damage. First A, he had a cast on his hand, and apparently a couple days before he had gotten into an altercation, or a week before, something with the guys next door, about some drug stuff or about owing money or something. I don't really know. And they were gonna fight. And so the situation was they were about to fight, and then old dude from next door to the cell was calling him out or something, and then A in my cell was coming back into the cell that I'm in. This is before I'm here, and he was trying to get a lock and a sock, and he was asking for it. He had his hand stuck on the door. Now, mind you, these are big ass heavy metal doors. They are weighty. Okay, they've got some heft to them. So dude from next door comes over and Sparta kicks the door with dude's hand still in there, cuts his finger off almost completely. He said it's dangling on by just a little bit of piece of skin. And he said it happened so fast, and the adrenaline and everything that was going on, he didn't feel it. So he just walks up to the CO's desk and says, I need to go to the med office, and shows him the finger like, oh my God. He gets it sewed back on. He's dealing with that the whole time that I'm in there with him. And so that was pretty wild. And it's like, okay, so this is the kind of stuff I'm coming into. This is, you know, all right. Where I grew up, where I'm from, you know, things can go from 0 to 100 real quick. So you kind of learn how to go with the flow and go with the motions. And it was a trip of just like, man, y'all doing dirty business? Like, I'm in that cell. I'm in the fucking trap cell. So S was a white dude. A1 was a mixed dude, Puerto Rican, I believe. And then A2 is going to come up a lot because he and I stayed in the same cell for a long ass time. He turned out to be a really cool dude. He's still in there, and I wish that man the best. And I tried writing him, but KDOC kicked it back and said, no, you're not allowed to write him because you were former cellies. I'm like, you read the mail. What the hell? Why can't I write dude? And so A1 was getting out in a couple of weeks anyway, so he got lucky. He was getting ready to get out and he can get some actual medical attention, because KU Med was really screwing with him. They said they didn't really do the best job with the plastic surgery, which is odd because KU Med's really diligent. They're good. KU Med is on their stuff. They are fantastic. If you get sick, hurt, messed up, fucked up anyway, KU Med, if you can get there, that's the place. So we're going through. S is a white dude. He likes to walk around with his shirt off a lot. He kind of, do I need anything? And he didn't have much himself. He was indigent, and he didn't have much himself. But he gave me a stick of deodorant. He gave me some shorts to wear, so I didn't have to wear the wonky prison stuff. So I kind of feel a little more human. Because prison, dude, when you go to prison, they strip you of your humanity. You lose your humanity. You do, and you gotta hang on to that every bit that you can. So I got a pair of shorts, and that's still, this is the first day. So I hear that story. So then I'm like, all right, I'm not sleeping now. After this bus ride, I ain't sleeping. So I head out on the run, hang on the rail, and I start hearing somebody say, hey, come here. Hey, you, come here. And I'm, I don't want no trouble. I'm not trying to start nothing. Staying in my lane. Look down, and this trans person, you can tell they're trans, looks at me and is like, you, come here. And I'm like, God damn, bro, what? This shit's gonna be fucking live 24/7. And he's like, come here, get your sheets. I'm like, oh, sheets. Turns out person was a laundry porter. Cool. So they're just hooking me up with sheets. So I got my sheets for my bed. They were hooked with a pillow, and that person was actually underneath the cell underneath me, and that's gonna come into play later on because there are some stories that happen with those people. And man, whoo! And if you're trans in prison, you either are a bitch or you are a fucking fighter. You are tough as shit. They stay to their own group, but it's weird. It's weird. Not gonna lie, in prison, because it's all men, and I'm not talking out here in other men. So it's just all right. Moving on to the next chapter.